Ladies and gentlemen, let me tell you something today. Your breakthrough is not waiting on them. It's waiting on you. Too many of us are sitting in the waiting room of life, looking around, checking the door, hoping somebody, somewhere will come and rescue us. We pray for a sign, we beg for a handout, we sit in desperation waiting for a miracle. But let me tell you today, your miracle is already inside of you. You don't need another opinion. You don't need another confirmation. You don't need permission. What you need is to get up and get moving. How long will you sit there making excuses? How long will you blame your past, your parents, your boss, your background? You keep saying, if only I had more money, if only I had more support, if only someone believed in me. But let me tell you something. God already equipped you with everything you need to start. Success isn't about what you don't have, it's about what you do with what's in your hands. Stop waiting for validation. Stop waiting for approval. Stop waiting for perfect conditions, because let me tell you, the storm may never stop. The road may never be clear, and the help you're looking for may never come. But you are stronger than you think. You are wiser than you give yourself credit for. You have enough right now to take that first step. The enemy wants you to believe that you're not ready, that you're not worthy, that you don't have what it takes, but the devil is a liar. You are not waiting on success. Success is waiting on you to show up and fight for it. I dare you to rise today. I dare you to start building, start working, start creating. No more waiting, no more wishing. Just do it. The dream is yours, the vision is yours, the victory is yours, but only if you reach for it. You've been praying for help, here it is, here's your answer. Get up and do it yourself. I came here today to tell you something that may shake you, something that may wake you up, something that may make you uncomfortable, but it will set you free. Your breakthrough is not waiting on them, it's waiting on you. You've been waiting for a sign, waiting for an answer, waiting for somebody to come and lift you up, waiting for a moment where everything aligns and the stars come together in your favor. You keep telling yourself, if only I had the right connections, if only I had a little more money, if only I had the right people backing me. But let me tell you something bold and clear. Stop waiting. It's already in you. The truth is, we have become too dependent on external validation. We have become too accustomed to looking outside of ourselves for the power that is already inside of us. We want someone to see our worth before we act like we are worthy. We want someone to believe in us before we dare to believe in ourselves. But that is not how success works. That is not how greatness is built. That is not how victory is won. Some of us have been sitting on the sidelines of our own lives, waiting for permission to be great, waiting for someone to open the door, waiting for someone to come and say, now is your time. But I need you to hear me loud and clear. You don't need permission to be great. You don't need permission to rise. You don't need permission to chase after what God has already put inside of you. Stop waiting for a green light from people who don't even have a destination. Stop waiting for applause from people who don't even have the courage to step on the stage. Stop waiting for encouragement from people who never took the risk themselves. Some of you are standing at the gate, waiting for it to open, not realizing that you are the one holding the key. How many dreams have died because somebody was waiting on help that never came? How many ideas have gone to the grave because someone was waiting for the right team, the right moment, the right bank account? How many visions have faded because someone was waiting for approval that never arrived? Let me tell you something. The help you're waiting on is not coming. The approval you're hoping for is not necessary. The conditions you are waiting for will never be perfect. Life does not wait for us to feel ready. Destiny does not pause until we are comfortable. If you want to see change, you have to move now. I know. It's scary. I know it's overwhelming. I know it's easier to sit back and say, I'll start when things get better. I'll move when the time is right. I'll step out when I have enough support. But hear me today. The right time is an illusion. If you wait for everything to be perfect, you will wait forever. Some of you have been talking about starting that business for years. Some of you have been dreaming about going back to school, but you keep finding reasons why it's not the right time. Some of you have had a vision for your future, but every time you start moving toward it, you stop yourself and say, maybe next year. Let me tell you something. Next year will come and go just like last year did, and you'll still be in the same place if you don't move now. Listen to me. God did not create you to sit on potential. He did not give you a vision just so you could talk about it. He did not plant dreams inside of you just so they could wither away from neglect. If he gave it to you, he expects you to work it. Stop saying, if only I had more resources, if only I had more support, if only I had a team. God is saying, I gave you a brain. I gave you creativity. I gave you wisdom. I gave you resilience. I gave you strength. Use what you have. Do you remember the story of Moses? Moses was standing at the Red Sea, trapped between Pharaoh's army and the deep waters, crying out to God, what do I do? And what did God say? Why are you crying to me? Use what's in your hand. Moses had a staff in his hand. It didn't look like much, but when he lifted it, the sea split in half. I need somebody to understand today, what's in your hand is enough. You don't need more money to start. Start with what you have. You don't need more connections. Use what you have. You don't need more qualifications. Start where you are. The enemy wants to keep you in a cycle of waiting. He wants you to think you're not ready. He wants you to believe that you're not equipped. But the devil is a liar. You are not waiting on success. Success is waiting on you. I dare you to stop making excuses. I dare you to stop looking for someone to come save you. I dare you to step into your power. I dare you to stop doubting yourself. I dare you to stop sitting on your talent. Rise up and do it yourself. You want financial freedom? Stop waiting for somebody to bless you. Start working on that idea. Start investing in yourself. Start educating yourself. You have the power to shift your own life. You want a new opportunity? Stop waiting for somebody to call you. Knock on the door yourself. And if the door doesn't open, build your own. You want success? Stop waiting for someone to invite you to the table. Create your own table. Listen, there is no magic formula. There is no secret shortcut. The only thing standing between you and your next level is action. Faith without works is dead. Hope without action is wasted. Dreams without effort are just wishes. Today is the day to stop wishing and start working. Today is the day to stop dreaming and start doing. Today is the day to stop waiting and start walking in your destiny. You've been praying for an answer. Here it is. Stop waiting. Do it yourself. Rise up, move forward, step into your greatness. Your breakthrough is waiting on you. Let me tell you something today that will set you free. You do not need permission to be great. You do not need validation to step into your destiny. You do not need approval to walk in the purpose that has already been placed inside of you. Too many of us are living our lives on pause, waiting for someone else to tell us we are good enough, smart enough, talented enough, or worthy enough to move forward. We sit back, holding our dreams hostage, waiting for applause that may never come, waiting for someone to co-sign what God already placed inside of us. But let me ask you something. What if the validation you are looking for never arrives? What if nobody ever claps for you? What if nobody ever tells you that you can do it? Will you stay in the same place forever? Will you bury your dreams because nobody else sees them yet? The problem with seeking outside validation is that it places your power in the hands of other people. It makes your confidence dependent on whether or not someone else sees your worth. But here's the truth. Some people will never see it. Some people will never believe in you. Some people will never give you the approval you seek, not because you aren't worthy, but because they don't have the capacity to recognize your greatness. You cannot afford to let the opinions of others determine how far you go in life. You cannot afford to let someone else's limited vision dictate the size of your dream. Some people won't believe in you simply because they can't imagine themselves doing what you're called to do. But their disbelief does not cancel your destiny. Their doubt does not change your purpose. Their lack of support does not make you any less capable. If you constantly wait for people to validate you, you will always be at their mercy. If you need their approval to start, you will need their approval to continue. And if they ever withdraw their support, you will find yourself lost and uncertain. But when you understand that your worth is not dependent on what they think, but on what's already inside of you, you become unstoppable. Let me remind you of something important. Every great person you admire had to believe in themselves before anyone else did. When Oprah Winfrey was fired from her job as a news anchor, they told her she wasn't fit for television. Can you imagine if she had let their words define her? But she didn't need their approval. She already had what it takes. When Walt Disney was told he lacked imagination, he could have let that one opinion destroy him. But he didn't, because he already had what it takes. When people laughed at the idea of airplanes, the Wright brothers didn't wait for permission to try. They already had what it takes. What I'm trying to tell you is this: the people who achieve great things in life are not the ones who wait for approval. They are the ones who move forward despite the lack of it. Some of you are sitting on talents, ideas, businesses, books, and inventions, but you won't move because you're waiting for someone to tell you, yes, this is a good idea. Yes, you should go for it. Yes, you have what it takes. But hear me today, you don't need their yes when God already gave you his yes. You were not created to live in hesitation. You were not designed to shrink yourself to fit into someone else's small expectations. You were born with power, with purpose, with potential, but until you see it, it won't matter who else does. The truth is, outside validation is unreliable. If you live for their applause, you will die from their silence. People are fickle. They will praise you one day and forget you the next. They will celebrate you when you succeed and disappear when you struggle. If your confidence is built on their opinions, your foundation is too weak to sustain your success. But when your confidence is built on what you know to be true about yourself, when you wake up every morning and remind yourself, I am capable, I am worthy, I am enough, I have what it takes, then nothing and no one can stop you. Let me tell you a hard truth. Sometimes the people you expect to support you the most will be the ones who doubt you the loudest. Some of you are frustrated because the very people you thought would believe in you, your family, your friends, your colleagues, are the ones questioning your ability. And because they don't validate you, you start questioning yourself. You start thinking, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm not ready. Maybe I don't have what it takes. But listen to me, just because they don't see it doesn't mean it's not real. Just because they don't believe doesn't mean you shouldn't. Some people won't support you until they see success. Some people won't recognize your value until the world does, but you cannot afford to wait for them. You have to believe in yourself first. You have to validate yourself first. You have to clap for yourself first. Let's talk about Jesus for a moment. Before he performed a single miracle, before he preached a single sermon, before he did anything, the heavens opened and God said, "This is my son in whom I am well pleased." In other words, before Jesus proved himself to anyone, He was already validated by God. He didn't need to seek approval from people. He already had his assignment. And if you really think about it, the very ones who doubted him, the ones who mocked him, the ones who refused to believe in him, he still completed his mission anyway. He didn't let their opinions stop him. He didn't let their doubts slow him down because he already knew who he was. I need you to stop waiting for applause and start clapping for yourself. I need you to stop looking around for validation and start looking within. You already have what it takes, not because someone said so, not because someone approved of you, but because it's in you. It's been in you all along. So today, I need you to walk differently. I need you to talk differently. I need you to carry yourself like you already know you're qualified, like you already know you're worthy, like you already know you're powerful. You don't need anyone to crown you. You are already royalty. You don't need anyone to appoint you. You are already chosen. You don't need anyone to say you are worthy. You are already enough. So from this day forward, stop seeking outside validation. Stop waiting for their approval. Stop looking for confirmation from people who don't even believe in themselves. How long are you going to keep telling yourself, I'll start next year. I'll do it when I have more time. I'll go for it when I feel ready. How many opportunities will you watch pass you by? How many dreams will you bury under a mountain of excuses? How long will you let fear, doubt, and hesitation hold you hostage? Some people have spent years in the same place, repeating the same cycle, living the same story over and over again because instead of taking action, they have been making excuses. They've convinced themselves that the reason they are not moving forward is because of circumstances, bad luck, or a lack of support. But the truth is, it's not the situation that's holding them back, it's their mindset. Every time an opportunity presents itself, they find a reason why it won't work. Every time they get inspired to start something new, they talk themselves out of it. Every time they feel the urge to step out in faith, fear whispers in their ear and tells them to wait. And the sad reality is that waiting becomes a habit. Excuses become a lifestyle. Before they know it, 5 years have passed, then 10, then 20, and one day they wake up and realize they have spent their entire life waiting for the right moment that never came. But let me tell you something today. The right moment is an illusion. The time will never be perfect. The conditions will never be ideal. You will never feel completely ready. If you keep waiting for the perfect circumstances, you will wait forever. If you keep making excuses, you will stay stuck where you are for the rest of your life. Think about this. Every successful person you admire had every reason to make excuses, but they chose action instead. Some of them had no money, some had no education, some had no support, some had to start from rock bottom. But instead of using their disadvantages as an excuse, they used them as motivation. Instead of saying, I can't because I don't have enough resources, they said, I'll figure it out with what I have. Instead of saying, I can't because no one is helping me, they said, I'll do it myself. The difference between successful people and those who stay stuck is not talent, it's not luck, it's not intelligence. It's the willingness to take action even when they don't have all the answers. Some of you have been telling yourself the same excuse for years. I don't have enough time. But let me ask you this. How many hours do you spend scrolling through social media? How much time do you spend watching TV? How many weekends have passed where you could have been working on your dream, but instead you were waiting for motivation to strike? It's not a lack of time, it's a lack of prioritization. You make time for what matters. If your dream mattered enough to you, you would find a way. Some of you say, I don't have enough money. But do you know how many millionaires started with nothing? Do you know how many businesses were launched from garages, basements, and kitchen tables? Success doesn't come from having a lot. It comes from making the most of what you have. If you can't afford to start big, start small. If you can't afford fancy equipment, use what's in your hands. If you don't have the resources, be resourceful. Money is not always the problem. Sometimes the real issue is the unwillingness to start where you are. Some of you say, I'm not ready, but let me tell you something. Nobody ever feels ready. Nobody has it all figured out in the beginning. Nobody starts with all the knowledge, experience, and skills they need. The way you get ready is by starting. The way you learn is by doing. The way you grow is by taking action. You don't need more time. You don't need more money. You don't need more approval. You need to move. Think about this. What would your life look like right now if you had started a year ago? What would you have accomplished by now if, instead of making excuses, you had taken consistent action? Where could you be today if you had stopped doubting yourself and just gone for it? Will you still be in the same place, telling yourself the same story? Will you still be talking about what you want to do but never actually doing it? Will you still be waiting for the right moment while life keeps passing you by? The truth is, you don't have time to waste. Life is short. Opportunities don't last forever. And every day you spend making excuses is a day you will never get back. If you want change, you have to make a decision. You have to decide that your excuses are no longer valid. You have to decide that your goals are more important than your fears. You have to decide that your future is worth fighting for. And once you make that decision, you have to act on it. Not tomorrow, not next week, not next year, right now. Because action is the only thing that creates results. Wishing won't do it. Planning won't do it. Talking about it won't do it. Only action will move you forward. Do you want to write a book? Write the first page. Do you want to start a business? Research your industry today. Do you want to get in shape? Go for a walk right now. Do you want to learn a new skill? Watch a tutorial and start practicing. Stop overthinking. Stop doubting. Stop waiting for the perfect time. Just take the first step, because once you start moving, momentum will carry you forward. It's like pushing a heavy boulder. The hardest part is getting it to move, but once it starts rolling, it builds momentum. Action creates momentum. And once you build momentum, success becomes inevitable. But if you never push, nothing will move. If you never start, nothing will happen. If you never take action, you will stay stuck. You've talked about it long enough. You've thought about it long enough. Now it's time to be about it. Take action, move forward, step into your greatness. How long are you going to keep waiting for everything to line up just right before you move? How long are you going to keep telling yourself that you'll start when the timing is better, when the money is right, when the support is there? Let me tell you something that will change your life if you let it. Conditions will never be perfect. If you keep waiting for perfection, you will wait forever. Too many people spend their lives waiting for the right season, waiting for the right resources, waiting for the right opportunity. And while they wait, life keeps moving forward without them. While they wait, someone else who had fewer resources, less knowledge, and more obstacles decides to move forward anyway, and they succeed. Because success doesn't belong to the people who wait for ideal circumstances. Success belongs to the people who start with what they have, where they are. Some of you have a vision in your heart, but you're waiting for confirmation. Some of you have a dream, but you're waiting for a sign. Some of you have the talent, but you're waiting for approval. And because you're waiting, you're stuck. You're stuck because you think you need more before you can begin. But what if I told you that everything you need to start is already in your hands? Think about it. Some of the greatest success stories in history came from people who had nothing but a vision and the courage to start. They didn't wait for conditions to be perfect. They simply made a decision to begin. Do you know how many businesses started in garages? How many best-selling books were written at kitchen tables? How many dreams were launched without money, without a team, without ideal circumstances? Amazon started in a garage. Apple started in a garage. Walt Disney started with just a drawing and a dream. Oprah Winfrey started with nothing but a belief in herself. The Wright brothers started with no funding, no support, just an idea. And because they started, they grew. Because they took action, they figured things out along the way. Because they refused to let imperfections stop them, they achieved success that changed the world. Are you waiting until you have more experience? You won't get experience until you start. Are you waiting until you have more money? Some of the biggest companies in the world started with nothing. Are you waiting until people believe in you? Some of the most successful people were doubted in the beginning. Are you waiting for the fear to go away? Fear never fully leaves. The only way to overcome fear is to move forward despite it. I need you to understand something important. Perfection is a myth. There will always be something that isn't quite right. There will always be a reason to wait. But if you let excuses run your life, you will never move. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is not talent, it's not intelligence, it's not resources, it's action. The people who succeed are the ones who start when others hesitate. Imagine two people who want to start a business. One person says, I'll start when I have all the money I need, the perfect business plan, and all the right connections. The other person says, I don't have everything I need, but I'm going to start anyway. I'll figure it out as I go. Why? Because success is about momentum. The moment you start, you create movement. And movement creates opportunities. Movement attracts the right people. Movement builds confidence. Some of you are sitting on ideas that could change your life. You have businesses inside of you, books inside of you, inventions inside of you, but you keep pushing them off. You keep waiting for one day. What if you keep waiting for the perfect time and realize years later that you never even tried? What if you wake up one day and realize you let fear and excuses steal your destiny? Don't let that happen to you. Start now. Start today. Start where you are. Let me tell you something. Your first attempt won't be perfect, and that's okay. The first draft of a book is never the final draft. The first version of a business is never the final version. The first step on any journey is never the last step. Perfection is not the goal. Progress is. And the only way to make progress is to begin. Maybe you don't have everything you need right now. That's okay. Use what you have. Do what you can. Start with what's in your hands. Do you want to write a book? Start with 1 page a day. Do you want to start a business? Start with what you can afford. Do you want to get in shape? Start with 5 minutes of exercise. Do you want to learn a new skill? Start by watching 1 video. You'll start learning, you'll start growing, you'll start figuring things out, and before you know it, you'll look back and realize how far you've come. A decision to stop waiting, a decision to stop hesitating, a decision to stop making excuses. I need you to decide that your dream is worth fighting for, even if conditions aren't perfect. Because here's the truth, conditions will never be perfect. But you have everything you need to start right now. So no more waiting, no more delaying, no more overthinking. Start where you are, use what you have, move forward today. Because the only thing standing between you and your destiny is action. Too many people waste their lives waiting. They wait for the perfect moment, the perfect opportunity, the perfect resources, or the perfect circumstance. They convince themselves that they need more before they can start. The right connections, the right training, the right finances, the right level of confidence. But let me tell you something that will set you free. What's in your hands right now is enough to take the first step. You don't need to have it all figured out. You don't need everything to be in place. You don't need to wait for some external validation to give you permission to move forward. Everything you need to start is already within you. The problem is that many people underestimate what they already have. They look at their lives and see what's missing instead of what's present. They focus on what they lack instead of what's available. And because they believe they don't have enough, they never take action. But let me ask you something. What if you already have enough to begin? What if the dream inside of you isn't waiting for more resources, more support, or more preparation, but simply for you to take action? Look at the great success stories throughout history. Very few people started with all the resources they needed. Very few people had everything lined up before they began, but they used what they had, and as they moved forward, doors began to open. Think about Steve Jobs and Steve Wozniak. They didn't have millions of dollars when they started Apple. They had a vision, some technical skills, and a garage. That was enough. Think about Oprah Winfrey. She didn't come from wealth or privilege. She had a voice, a passion for storytelling, and a determination to succeed. That was enough. Think about J.K. Rowling. She was a struggling single mother living on government assistance. She didn't have a huge platform or financial security, but she had a story inside her that she was determined to tell. That was enough. And what about you? What's in your hands right now? What skills do you already have? What knowledge is already inside you? What ideas have been placed on your heart? What relationships, tools, and opportunities are already available to you? Instead of looking at what you don't have, I want you to shift your mindset and look at what you do have. Because I promise you, there is something in your hands right now that you can use to take the first step. Some of you want to start a business, but you're waiting until you have more money. Let me ask you, can you start small with what you already have? Can you offer a service instead of a product? Can you use social media to promote yourself for free? Can you start where you are instead of waiting for a massive investment? Some of you want to write a book, but you're waiting until you have more time. Let me ask you, can you write 1 page a day? Can you wake up 30 minutes earlier? Or spend less time scrolling on your phone? Can you start with just the first chapter? Some of you want to get in shape, but you're waiting until you can afford a gym membership. Let me ask you, can you go for a walk outside? Can you do body weight exercises at home? Can you start with what you have right now? You see, the biggest lie that keeps people stuck is the idea that they need something more before they can begin. But the truth is, success isn't about having everything up front. It's about making the most of what you already have. Let's go back to a powerful example, the story of Moses in the Bible. When God called Moses to lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses doubted himself. He asked, what if they don't believe me? What if I'm not enough? And do you know what God said to him? Moses had a simple staff in his hand. Nothing fancy, nothing extraordinary. But that staff, when placed in God's hands, performed miracles. That staff was enough. What skills do you have? What experiences have shaped you? What talents have you been overlooking? Some of you have gifts that you're ignoring because they come naturally to you. You assume that because it's easy for you, it must not be valuable. But what if that thing that comes naturally to you is exactly what someone else needs? Some of you are sitting on ideas that could change your life, but you're afraid to act on them. You keep telling yourself, I'll start when I have more experience. I'll start when I have more confidence. I'll start when the conditions are better. But let me tell you something. Confidence doesn't come from waiting. Confidence comes from doing. So I need you to stop focusing on what you don't have and start using what you do have. Because what's in your hands right now is enough to take the first step. And here's the thing. Once you take that first step, New doors will open. Resources will begin to appear. The right people will come into your life. Opportunities will show up that you never could have predicted. But none of that will happen if you don't start moving. It's like driving a car at night. Your headlights only show a few feet ahead, but as you keep driving, the road keeps unfolding. You don't have to see the entire journey before you begin. You just have to trust that as you move forward, the path will reveal itself. Some of you are waiting for clarity before you take action. But let me tell you, clarity comes from action. You won't figure everything out by sitting still. You'll figure it out by doing, by learning, by adjusting as you go. Take inventory of your gifts, your skills, your experiences, your resources. Look at what you already have instead of what you lack, and then take the first step. Write the first page, make the first call, record the first video, launch the first product. Take the first action, because the longer you wait, the more excuses you'll find, and before you know it, years will pass and you'll still be waiting for one day. They are stuck in a cycle of blame, regret, and resentment, constantly replaying the past, constantly pointing to what went wrong, constantly making excuses for why they can't move forward. I didn't have a good childhood. I was never given the opportunities that others had. If only I had been born into a different family. If that person hadn't hurt me, I would be further along. If I hadn't made that mistake, my life would be different. And while they are stuck blaming their past, their future is slipping away. Let me tell you something. Your past is not your prison unless you choose to stay locked in it. What happened to you may not have been your fault. The struggles you faced, the pain you endured, the unfair circumstances you had to deal with, they may not have been something you caused. But listen to me carefully. Your healing, your growth, and your future are your responsibility. You cannot change the past. You cannot undo what has already been done. You cannot go back and rewrite history. But what you can do is take control of what happens next. Blame is a heavy burden to carry. Every time you say, I can't because of what happened to me, you are handing your power over to the past. You are allowing the people who hurt you, the situations that disappointed you, and the mistakes that set you back to have control over your future. You have a choice. You can choose to keep blaming, or you can choose to start building. You can choose to keep looking back, or you can choose to start moving forward. You can choose to stay trapped in your past, or you can choose to step into your potential. I don't care what happened to you. I don't care how many times you failed. I don't care who left you, who hurt you, or who doubted you. I don't care how bad it was or how long it lasted. What I care about is this: what are you going to do now? Some of the most successful people in history came from the most painful pasts. Some of the greatest leaders, the most influential thinkers, the most powerful game changers came from backgrounds filled with struggle, adversity, and hardship. They refused to let their past be their excuse. They made a decision to turn their pain into power, their setbacks into setups, and their wounds into wisdom. Let's talk about Oprah Winfrey. She was born into poverty, faced abuse, and had every reason to blame her past. But she didn't let her pain define her. She chose to focus on her potential, and now she was one of the most influential women in the world. Let's talk about Nelson Mandela. He was in prison for 27 years. He could have spent his life in bitterness, anger, and resentment, but instead of letting his past define him, he focused on his potential to create change, and he became one of the most respected leaders in history. Let's talk about Tyler Perry. He was homeless, broke, and struggling to make his dreams come true. He could have blamed his past and given up, but he didn't. He kept going, kept pushing, and today he is a self-made billionaire who has created opportunities for countless others. What is keeping you from stepping into your potential? What excuse have you been holding on to? Are you letting your past mistakes define your future? Are you allowing the pain of your childhood to dictate your success? Are you stuck in resentment, still angry about what someone did to you years ago? Are you telling yourself that because of where you came from, you can never achieve greatness? Because your potential is still there. It didn't disappear because of what happened to you. It didn't vanish because of the mistakes you made. It didn't fade away because of your failures. Your potential is waiting for you to claim it. Some of you have been carrying pain, regret, and anger for so long that it has become part of your identity. You don't even know who you are without your struggles. You've been defining yourself by what happened to you instead of who you have the power to become. A decision to stop blaming. A decision to stop letting excuses. A decision to stop letting your past dictate your future. I need you to understand that you have a future worth fighting for. You have gifts inside of you that the world needs. You have talents that have been placed within you for a reason. You have a destiny that is greater than your history. But if you keep looking back, you will never step into it. So today I challenge you, let go of the blame and grab hold of your potential. Stop saying I can't because of what happened to me and start saying I can because I refuse to be defeated. Stop saying I'll never be successful because of my past and start saying I will be successful despite my past. Stop saying I'm a victim and start saying, I am victorious, because the truth is you are stronger than your past. You are greater than your mistakes. You are capable of more than you have ever imagined. But you have to believe it. You have to make a choice to shift your focus from what's behind you to what's ahead of you. But your future is waiting for you to step into it. So no more excuses. No more blaming. No more looking back. It's time to step into your potential. It's time to walk in your greatness. It's time to embrace the future that belongs to you. There is a battle going on every single day, a battle for your confidence, a battle for your purpose, a battle for your destiny. And the enemy's greatest weapon is not always external circumstances, not always the challenges you face, not even the obstacles in your way. No, the enemy's greatest weapon is the lie that you are not enough. He wants you to believe that you are not smart enough, not talented enough, not strong enough, not qualified enough. He wants to fill your mind with doubt, to make you question your ability, to make you shrink back from your calling. Because if he can convince you that you are inadequate, he doesn't even have to stop you. You'll stop yourself. Everything you need to fulfill your purpose is already inside of you. Everything you need to take the next step is already in your hands. Everything you need to succeed has already been placed within you, because if you knew how powerful you really are, if you knew that you were already enough, you would step into your destiny with boldness, with confidence, with unstoppable faith. You're not ready. You don't have what it takes. You're too weak. You're too broken. You'll never measure up. And because those lies feel real, too many people accept them as truth. They shrink back. They stay small. They sit on their gifts. They allow fear and insecurity to keep them from stepping forward. Who told you that you weren't smart enough to start that business? Who told you that you weren't talented enough to pursue that dream? Who told you that you weren't strong enough to overcome your past? Who told you that you weren't equipped? God doesn't create people without purpose. He doesn't give people dreams without the ability to fulfill them. He doesn't call people without equipping them for the call. Look at Moses. When God told him to go lead the Israelites out of Egypt, Moses felt inadequate. He said, I can't do this. I don't speak well. I'm not qualified. Look at David. He was just a shepherd boy, overlooked and underestimated. But when it was time to face Goliath, he didn't need a sword. He didn't need armor. He already had everything he needed: a slingshot, 5 stones, and faith. Look at Gideon. He saw himself as weak, as unworthy, as incapable. But God called him a mighty warrior before he even stepped into battle. And if you have a calling, if you have a dream, if you have a vision burning inside of you, you are already equipped. You may not feel ready, but you don't have to feel ready to be ready. You may not see all the resources, but you don't have to see everything to start. You may not understand how it's going to happen, but faith doesn't require full understanding. It just requires obedience. The enemy wants you to focus on what you lack, but I need you to shift your focus and see what you already have. You have skills, you have wisdom, you have experiences that have prepared you. You have a voice that needs to be heard. You have a purpose that is uniquely yours. You have everything you need to take the next step. Stop waiting until you feel ready, because that day may never come. Stop comparing yourself to other people, because your journey is not their journey. Stop looking at your weaknesses and start focusing on your strengths. Because here's the truth: the enemy wouldn't be working so hard to make you feel inadequate if you weren't already powerful. Do you think he attacks people who have no potential? Do you think he tries to plant doubt in people who don't have a destiny? No. He attacks the people who are on the verge of something great. So if you have been feeling inadequate, if you have been struggling with self-doubt, if you have been questioning whether or not you have what it takes, that is proof that you are already equipped. Because the enemy wouldn't be fighting you if you weren't a threat. Now the question is, will you believe the lie, or will you walk in the truth? Will you keep allowing doubt to hold you back, or will you step forward in faith? Will you keep looking at your limitations, or will you trust that you are already enough? You don't have to feel qualified to be qualified. You don't have to see the whole staircase to take the first step. You don't have to wait until fear disappears to move forward. And once you step into that belief, once you walk in that truth, once you own the fact that you are enough, the enemy loses his power over you, because you are not weak. You are not inadequate. You are not missing anything. Too many people go through life focusing on what they don't have. They look at their weaknesses, their limitations, their disadvantages, and they convince themselves that they can't succeed. They say things like, if only I had more money, I could start my business. If only I had the right connections, I could get that opportunity. If only I were smarter, I could achieve my dreams. If only I had a better background, I wouldn't struggle so much. But let me tell you something that will change the way you see your life. Success is not about what you lack. Success is about using what you have. It's not about waiting until conditions are perfect. It's not about wishing for more resources. It's not about hoping that someone else will come and make things easier for you. Success comes from taking what you have right now and making the most of it. Look at the greatest success stories in history. Very few of them started with all the resources, all the connections, or all the advantages. What set them apart wasn't that they had more. It was that they made the most of what they had. Take Oprah Winfrey, for example. She didn't come from wealth. She didn't have a family that opened doors for her. She faced rejection and obstacles at every turn. But instead of focusing on what she didn't have, she focused on what she did have: her voice, her passion, and her ability to connect with people. And because she used what she had, she built an empire. Take Steve Jobs. He didn't start Apple with millions of dollars in investment. He and Steve Wozniak started in a garage with little money, but they had ideas, skills, and determination, and that was enough. Take Nick Vujicic, the motivational speaker born without arms and legs. He could have spent his life focused on what he lacked. He could have said, I'll never be able to make an impact because of my condition. But instead, he used what he had, his voice, his faith, and his message to inspire millions around the world. Are you looking at what's missing, or are you using what's already in your hands? Because the truth is, you already have more than enough to start. The problem is that most people discount what they have because it seems small. You might be thinking, I only have a little bit of knowledge. I need more experience first. You might be saying, I only have a small platform. No one will listen to me. Yet, you might be feeling, I only have a little bit of money. I need more to start my dream. A tiny seed becomes a massive tree. A small idea becomes a billion-dollar company. A single step begins a lifelong journey. Look at the story of David in the Bible. When he faced Goliath, he didn't have a sword. He didn't have a shield. He didn't have the armor of a trained soldier, but he had a slingshot and 5 smooth stones. That was enough. Look at the widow in the story of Elijah. She thought she had nothing, just a small jar of oil and a little bit of flour. But when she used what she had, it multiplied beyond what she could have imagined. You see, the problem is never what you don't have. The problem is failing to use what you do have. If you take the small skills you have and develop them, they will grow. If you take the little resources you have and invest them wisely, they will. If you take the small steps you can take today, they will lead to greater things tomorrow. Some of you have been waiting for the perfect time. You've been waiting until you have all the money, all the connections, all the experience. But let me tell you, the perfect time will never come. If you wait for everything to be ideal, you will never take action, because there will always be something that seems to be missing. There will always be something you feel like you need more of. There will always be a reason to wait. They don't wait until they have a full vision. They act on the small ideas they have now. They don't wait until they have millions. They start with the little they have now. They don't wait until they feel confident. They take action despite their fears. And as they move forward, more resources appear. More connections come, more opportunities open. But none of it happens until they use what they already have. So let me ask you again, what do you have in your hands right now? What skills do you already possess? What ideas are already inside of you? What opportunities are already available to you? What relationships do you already have that could help you move forward? Because when you start using what you have, things will begin to shift. You may feel like you only have a little, but when you use it, it will multiply. You may feel like you're not qualified yet, but when you step out in faith, you will grow. You may feel like you don't have all the answers, but when you start moving, the answers will come. Success is not about waiting until you have more. Success is not about wishing for something different. Success is about taking what you have right now and making the most of it. Doors will open that you never saw before. Resources will come that you never expected. Opportunities will arise that you never imagined. Stop saying, I don't have enough, and start saying, I will use what I have. Stop saying, I'm not ready, and start saying, I will grow as I go. Stop saying, I need more, and start saying, I will start with what's in my hand.